So this is the kind of film that brings tears to your eyes. A film about a child, a cinema hall, and the journey of an entire lifetime. This movie received 1 Oscar award and several international honors. So, let's begin. The film opens in the picturesque village of Giancaldo, Italy. We first see an elderly woman, this is Salvatore's mother, on the phone, asking someone to please deliver her message to Salvatore. Sitting beside her is a young woman, Salvatore's sister Leah, who says, "Look, Mom, there's no point calling him. He's too busy. God knows where he is, maybe he doesn't even remember us. Forget it, he hasn't come here in 30 years. You know how he is." But the mother replies, "I know him better than you do. If we don't tell him, and he finds out later, he'll be furious." Now, we're taken to Rome, the capital of Italy, where we see Salvatore, now a successful film director, sitting in a luxury car. He reaches home and finds his wife asleep. As he lies down on the bed, his wife tells him, "Your mom called from the village. She said, Alfredo has passed away. The funeral is tomorrow afternoon." As soon as he hears this, Salvatore's face fills with sadness, and we go into flashback. Salvatore is 9 years old, dressed as an altar boy, kneeling at the altar with a small silver bell in his hands. Father God is performing Mass, and little Salvatore, still sleepy, is yawning. The priest later asks him, "Why are you always so tired? Don't you eat?" Salvatore replies, "We don't have much food at home." Now the priest heads to the village cinema hall, where we meet Alfredo, the projectionist. The priest orders him to run through all the films that are going to be screened for the public. While watching the reels, whenever a kissing or intimate scene appears, the priest rings his bell, and Alfredo marks the scene. These are the scenes the church censors, and Alfredo is instructed to cut them out before screening. Meanwhile, young Salvatore sneaks into the projection room, curious about the films. He starts watching the kissing scenes and even asks Alfredo for them, but Alfredo throws him out. That night, Salvatore asks his mother, "Where's Dad? When is he coming home?" She tells him to go to sleep. Later, we see Salvatore stealing the cut film reels from the projection room and bringing them home. The next day, he goes back to the cinema, begs Alfredo to let him in, but is again denied. He ends up buying a ticket and watches the film until late at night. As the theater closes, he exits to find his mother waiting outside, angry. She asks, "Where's the money I gave you for milk?" Salvatore says nothing. She realizes he spent it on movie tickets and starts hitting him. Alfredo arrives and defends the boy, even refunding the ticket money. Later, while returning from church, Salvatore pretends to have leg pain when he sees Alfredo cycling behind them. Alfredo laughs and offers him a ride. On the way, Salvatore says, "Why don't you make me your friend? That way I can enter the projection room." Alfredo jokes, "I make friends based on their looks, and you look terrifying." When they reach Salvatore's house, a small fire has broken out, and his younger sister nearly gets hurt. Alfredo sees the stolen reels and realizes how deeply Salvatore is drawn to films. The next morning, Salvatore once again shows up, begging to enter the projection booth. This time he brings Alfredo a lunchbox, saying, "Your wife told me to give this to you." Alfredo laughs and finally lets him in. Salvatore says, "I want to become a projectionist like you." But Alfredo replies, "Why would anyone want to become a projectionist? Sitting in a dark room like a ghost, night after night? You should aim for something bigger, something better." He leaves, but Salvatore starts playing with the projector, accidentally shutting it down. Alfredo gets furious. Time passes. We see Salvatore taking a school exam, and Alfredo shows up too, needing a certificate. But Alfredo can't answer any of the questions and secretly asks Salvatore for help. Salvatore tells him, "Only if you teach me to run the projector." Then he slyly tosses Alfredo a cheat sheet. In the next scene, Alfredo is teaching Salvatore the art of projection. The boy learns quickly. One night, while the cinema is running, the theater manager demands extra money from the audience. When they protest, he kicks them out. Salvatore, upset, asks Alfredo to do something. Alfredo turns the projector toward a wall outside, effectively turning the village square into an open-air theater. The villagers cheer and watch the movie outdoors. But suddenly, the projector short-circuits and a fire breaks out inside the cinema. Everyone runs. Salvatore rushes inside alone and finds Alfredo unconscious. He pulls him out. Alfredo's face is burned. The villagers later gather in sadness. They rebuild the cinema with a new investor. Now Salvatore is appointed the new projectionist, just as Alfredo taught him. And for the first time, a kissing scene plays on screen, no more church censorship. Later, we see Alfredo with his wife, his face healing, but now he's completely blind. When Salvatore sees him again, he's overjoyed. Alfredo tells him, "I never wanted you to be like me, stuck in a booth. But the village needs you right now. When you grow up, leave this place. I'll always be with you in spirit." Years pass. That little boy is now a young man. The audience has changed, even nudity is now shown in the cinema. Salvatore now has a video camera and records everything. One day, he spots a new girl at college and secretly films her. Later, while watching the video, Alfredo asks about her. Salvatore gushes about her blue eyes. Alfredo says, "Sounds like you're in love. But she's not going to stay. She'll disappear one day." Salvatore asks, "How do you know?" "I saw it in a movie." Alfredo laughs. They both chuckle. Next day, Salvatore runs into the girl. Her name is Elena. He tries to talk but only manages to say, "The weather is nice today." She laughs. Frustrated, he runs to Alfredo, who says, "I knew she wouldn't understand. If I were God, I'd take 2 to 3 more days to make girls like her so they could understand the hearts of boys like you." Later, at church, Salvatore tricks the priest so he can sit in the confession box and finally confesses his love to Elena. She replies, "I like you, but that doesn't mean I love you." Salvatore says, "I'll wait. Every day I'll stand below your balcony until you love me. When you do, open your window." And so he waits for months. New Year's Eve arrives. The village celebrates, but Salvatore stands alone, hoping. The window opens, but nothing happens. Heartbroken, he tears his calendar. But Elena is moved by his patience. She comes to him, they hug, and start dating. They spend wonderful moments together. But when Elena's strict father finds out, he disapproves and relocates the family to another city. Salvatore joins the army. He writes Elena letters, but they're never delivered. Eventually, he returns and finds everything has changed. He visits Alfredo. "Why don't you go out, talk to anyone?" he asks. "What's the point?" Alfredo says, "I know I'll be gone soon." They walk by the sea. Alfredo asks about Elena. Salvatore says, "I tried everything to find her, but nothing." Alfredo says, "Life isn't like the movies. It's much harder. I feel like this earth is cursed." Then he says something powerful. "Leave this place. Follow your dreams. Don't ever come back. No letters, no visits. Just live your life with all your heart." Salvatore is deeply moved. We then see him at the train station about to leave. He hugs his mother, sister, and finally Alfredo, knowing it may be for the last time. Tears fall as he boards the train. Even the village priest yells, "Goodbye." Years later, Salvatore returns. The village has changed. He reunites with his mother and attends Alfredo's funeral. Everyone recognizes him, the famous director. But he feels like that 9-year-old boy again. He stands outside the old Cinema Paradiso, which is now being demolished to make space for a parking lot. Everyone is emotional, as if their home is being destroyed. Salvatore now realizes why Alfredo told him to leave. Alfredo's wife gives him a film reel, saying, "Alfredo always talked about you. He made this for you." And now / Salvatore returns to Rome. He watches the film reel that Alfredo had left behind for him. A reel filled with all the kissing scenes that were once cut from the movies. The same scenes young Salvatore had begged Alfredo to let him see when he was a child. As the reel plays, memories flood back. Tears well up in his eyes. And with a deeply emotional background score, the film ends, beautifully and silently. Oh, and one more thing. In his childhood, everyone in the village, including Alfredo, used to lovingly call Salvatore by the name Toto. This masterpiece is originally in the Italian language, but you can also find it on YouTube, possibly even in English. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and tell us in the comments how you felt about this incredible story. See you in the next video. Clapperboard Broken Heart.